Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men the Animated Series VHS release, Shop Disney / Hasbro Pulse exclusive. This time we have Jean Grey. She just arrived by UPS today from Hasbro Pulse. So we've taken a look at these three. We've taken a look at this one. But here we have Jean Grey, and it looks pretty good, just like with all the other ones. It's bright, it's colorful. We get Jean Grey artwork there on the front. It is the plastic-free packaging that Hasbro has started to do. We get Jean Grey there off to the side. In the back of the package, we get a 3D render of the figure, and the bio reads, possessing near limitless psychic potential, Jean Grey is Charles Xavier's first student and could someday become the greatest psychic on Earth and beyond. So we have this Jean Grey. It is essentially going to be a repaint of this Jean Grey with very little difference. Obviously a little bit in the deco and then adding the cel-shaded deco to the figure. But what would you guys think if Hasbro decided to release another Jean Grey, maybe a Dark Phoenix version? That would be pretty cool, right? Maybe one day. We'll see. But anyway, let's get this Jean Grey figure out of the package. For those that may not have watched some of the previous videos and whatnot on how these plastic-free packages go, I'm going to show you guys here as we open it. The figure is going to be in a paper bag. As you can see there, we have the accessories right on top. So that's a whole lot of hair. So that looks like that's the interchangeable head. I forget exactly what accessories she even came with, so we'll take a look at that too. And then the figure is stuffed right on in there, and let's take that flap, and there she is. And there is Jean Grey with her head turned so it could kind of fit into the box a little bit there. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I actually don't mind it. Just like on some of the other figures, the cel-shaded deco, not too bad. And I think the face, I like this one a lot more than the comic version. We'll take a look at the comparisons between the two here shortly. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And then as far as accessories, because I forgot if she came with hands. Oh, looks like she does come with hands. So we have a pair of fists for Jean Grey. Whoops. Whoops. And then we have the interchangeable head with the more orange hair instead of the dark red hair that the comic version came with. So let's get in for a closer look at these two. Okay, so here is an up-close look at Jean Grey, and I do really like the new face print, or the new deco for the face, because the comic had, I don't know, the makeup seemed very strong, the lipstick seemed a little too heavy in my opinion, just didn't quite look right, and I think the other one was kind of bad too. But looking at the way they paint, you know, the animated series version now, I like it. It's just, see, it's just a little heavy on the makeup here, not as much. The green of the eyes, it isn't as prominent, and I think that's, you know, due to the digital print versus, you know, the old style of paint apps on there. The lips aren't as full, as you can see. Like her upper lip isn't as bad. Her lower lip does seem pretty like too full a little bit there too, but it does look really good. The brighter color hair as opposed to the dark red. You get the orange color to really match the animated series. The blues are different. As you can see, we have a much lighter blue on the animated series versus the darker blue. The yellows are fairly similar. Not a whole lot different, but on the side pockets, we don't get gold paint on the animated series. They didn't paint it at all. And then, of course, we get the cel-shaded there, so a little bit of a darker orange there on the yellow, and that's kind of in some areas of the figure. It's really not too bad, just really there on the legs, and then up over here on her side, you could see it there, and on the other side as well. Surprisingly, we don't get any of that cel-shading on the arms at all, so it's really just the side there on the legs, and then the blue and stuff is where we get some more of the cel shading. So again, we kind of have a darker blue in some of the areas. So I guess, you know, when looking at, I guess the darker blue is actually the color, and then the lighter blue is some of the cel shading, which I think would be opposite But the light blue is the cell shade, and then here, like, her gauntlet pieces are a brighter blue. We get some paint on the hands because it's kind of a gloved look there. The same goes for the fists, as they have kind of the half gloved look there around the palm. The belt is a lighter blue, and we get a dark blue line around the whole belt. But really, that's kind of it. Now, this one had some sloppy paint apps when it came to where the blue and the yellows meet. This isn't bad, but it's not great, right? It gets real fuzzy in some of those tight corners and everything like that, because these shoulder pads are part of the body mold, part of that upper torso, so they're not going to move, which kind of sucks. So I think because of that, that's where the kind of the sloppy paint kind of comes into play, because otherwise I don't really have any issues with the paint anywhere else. But Jean Grey does come with the second head, so let's go ahead and... Ooh, that's not good. So as I'm trying to pull this head off on that ball joint, it's very high up in there, but as I pull it off, I could see that I'm wanting to pull that disc right out of the hinge. Man, that's not good. And with her long ass hair, I can't just... Can I do it this way? Ooh, see, look at how that is. That's all bad. You know, when they have characters that come with alternate heads, like, this should be very strong. I've had a few that have broken on me, like the captain from the MODOK World Tour set. That head popped off on me due to an issue like that. So, yeah, be very careful with yours, because it might be an issue. Now that this head's a little tough, I'm putting more stress on that ball hinge. That kind of sucks, but there is the alternate head there, and that looks pretty good. We're gonna pop on the old one. I wanted to do it, you know, instead of like in front of me on the camera, because I didn't want to mess it up. But here you could take a look at the difference. Again, this deco follows the same of the ponytail hair look, to where the makeup is a little bit more subtle, but I think it looks really good. I really like the orange hair versus the dark red hair. But there are the differences there. But I am going to display it with the ponytail, because in the animated series, she had the ponytail look. So now I'm scared as hell to swap out that head again. I'm going to do that off camera. Fingers crossed it goes well. Okay, so luckily swapping the head didn't cause any problems. I was able to do it, and the neck hinge didn't break or anything like that. Swapping out the fists, you can see you just pull them off and you could swap that on there. These hands are the same hands that came with a lot of old female figures, and it really sucks. But as we move into the articulation, one thing I'm going to point out that really, really sucks is if you look at the box, right, she places her hand to her temple, but the figure in no way can do that because of the old school single jointed elbows. Now I understand that people are going to say, well, it's single jointed elbows can still give you just as much range as a double jointed elbow. That is true, but in a lot of cases you end up getting more. And then the other issue is no bicep swivel, because if there was a bicep swivel, she could turn her arm in a little bit more as opposed to at the elbow. But you know, it all kind of sucks. But looking at the articulation, looking up actually isn't too much of a problem, but you gotta have to kind of use that torso to bend her back. There, looking down is not a problem at all, but then the ponytail looks kind of weird. The head does sit pretty high on that ball joint, so the neck is pretty long. I think that's a pretty common issue with a lot of the female figures. I think it's just in the design of the neck. You get rotation and pivot in the neck. The arms, you can get the arms to go out that much, basically to the side. That shoulder pad is going to get in the way. It does not move with the arm. It is part of the sculpt of the torso, but you get a full rotation at that shoulder still anyway. Single jointed elbow with the swivel at the elbow, giving you 90-degree bend, and that's it. Diaphragm joint, female figure, so she could pivot to her left that much. She could pivot to her right that much there. Coming forward, it's going to be extremely little. Can't even tell that I did it, but I did. Going back, halfway decent, and then you get a swivel at that diaphragm cut, because there's no waist swivel or anything like that. Legs go out only that far apart, not very good. She can kick up very high, that is good. Goes back tiny bit. Upper thigh cut in there, mine was a little stiff. Double jointed gummy ass knee. Super gummy with these female figures, but double jointed knee gives you that much bend there. Foot hinges down that much. We get a little bit of hinge up. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. These legs aren't as gummy as the Storm figure that I just got, but these are still gummy as hell, so just be aware of that. A little bit easier to get her to stand and everything, but it's far from perfect. But articulation on par with other female figures. Not that good. Luckily, the new Shriek body makes a lot of improvements, but still not all that great. Okay, so here are our Cel-Shaded X-Men, the animated series VHS style packaging figures that have released so far. So Morph should be up next. Mystique still hasn't gone up for pre-order, if I'm not mistaken. Hasbro has not shown any new ones. However, at the time of this recording, August 10th, they do have a Hasbro Pulse Marvel Legends fan stream, so maybe they will announce some more. Don't really know. We shall see. But, you know, time will tell. But we have these 5. Morph is number 6. He is on the way. Not shipped yet, but I know some people have it somehow. And then Mystique will go up for order at some point, maybe after tomorrow with the fan stream. But we'll see which other figures are going to be coming in this line. Cyclops has to come. Gambit is a possibility. But we need some more damn villains, that's for sure. Which villains we'll see, I don't know, but we definitely need more than just Mr. Sinister. I would think at minimum we would get Magneto. Oh, and Mystique, I guess, is coming, so that's, you know, a villain there. I would imagine Magneto will be coming. I highly doubt a Professor X will come because they're not going to do the hover chair unless they do some kind of special box set, which I would not put it past Hasbro to do something like that. But we'll see which other figures come out. But I definitely think Cyclops will come. Should have those new legs that Morph has. But only time will tell. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this Jean Grey figure? What do you think of the cell shading? Have you gotten it? And what do you think of the X-Men animated series VHS style packaging altogether? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Don't forget to hit the join button. I'm still tweaking some of the member perks, but one of the big ones is going to be like members only live streams where you can get Q&As with me. I'll talk about action figure stuff and all that. Also, shoot me any ideas that you may have, but hit that join button and become part of the MCU collective and support the channel. I really appreciate it. If you don't or not interested, that's okay too. I'll continue to do review videos for everybody to watch. And there it is. So thank you guys for watching.